In the journey of life, there's a guiding philosophy that offers profound wisdom and strength: Stoicism. It's not just a fancy word, it's a powerful way of thinking and acting. And today, we're exploring how Stoicism can help us navigate our interactions with women. Stoicism teaches us to control our emotions, to be strong in the face of challenges, and to treat others with respect and understanding. So, join us as we dive into the 6 actions Stoics avoid when interacting with women, and discover how these principles can lead to a deeper connection and a more fulfilling life. Let's embark on this journey together, guided by the timeless wisdom of the Stoics. Number 1. Avoid objectification. In our interactions with women, it's important to steer clear of objectification, a harmful behavior that reduces individuals to mere objects of desire, overlooking their humanity and worth. Objectification can take various forms, from making comments about a woman's appearance to treating her solely as a means to an end, rather than acknowledging her as a person with thoughts, feelings, and autonomy. Such behavior can lead to feelings of low self-esteem, body image issues, and even harassment or violence. To avoid objectification when interacting with women, it's essential to approach each interaction with empathy, respect, and sensitivity. Here are some simple guidelines to follow. Firstly, focus on more than just physical appearance. Instead of complimenting a woman solely on her looks, acknowledge her intelligence, talents, and personality. Show genuine interest in her thoughts, opinions, and experiences. Secondly, avoid making assumptions based on stereotypes or gender norms. Recognize that women are diverse individuals with unique interests, skills, and aspirations. Avoid using language or behavior that reinforces harmful stereotypes or perpetuates inequality. Thirdly, respect boundaries and seek consent. Understand that every woman has the right to control her own body and make her own choices. Always seek explicit consent before engaging in physical contact or making advances, and never pressure or coerce anyone into doing something they're not comfortable with. Furthermore, be mindful of power dynamics in your interactions. Avoid using your position of authority or privilege to manipulate or exploit others. Treat women as equals and partners in conversations, collaborations, and relationships. Lastly, challenge objectifying attitudes and behaviors in yourself and others. Speak out against objectifying comments or actions, and actively work to create a culture of respect and equality in your social circles and communities. By following these guidelines and approaching interactions with women with empathy, respect, and sensitivity, we can create a more inclusive and supportive environment where everyone feels valued and respected. Remember, every woman deserves to be treated as a whole person, worthy of dignity, respect, and equality. Number 2. Avoid condescension. It's crucial to avoid condescension, a behavior that belittles or patronizes others and undermines their dignity. Condescension can occur through tone, body language, or choice of words, and it can have a damaging effect on relationships and self-esteem. To avoid condescension when interacting with women, it's essential to approach each interaction with humility, empathy, and respect. Here are some simple guidelines to follow. Firstly, listen actively and attentively. Instead of assuming superiority, take the time to understand and appreciate women's perspectives, experiences, and insights. Show genuine interest in what they have to say and avoid interrupting or dismissing their contributions. Secondly, avoid making assumptions based on stereotypes or prejudices. Recognize that women are diverse individuals with unique talents, abilities, and interests. Avoid using language or behavior that reinforces gender stereotypes or diminishes women's capabilities. Thirdly, be mindful of your tone and body language. Avoid speaking in a patronizing or dismissive manner, and maintain open and respectful body language. Treat women as equals, valuing their opinions and treating them with the same level of respect and consideration as you would anyone else. Furthermore, respect boundaries and personal space. Recognize that every woman has the right to control her own body and make her own choices. Avoid invading personal space or making unwelcome advances. and always seek explicit consent before initiating physical contact. Lastly, challenge condescending attitudes and behaviors in yourself and others. Speak out against condescending comments or actions, and strive to create a culture of equality and respect in your interactions and relationships. By following these guidelines and approaching interactions with women with humility, empathy, and respect, we can create a more inclusive and supportive environment where everyone feels valued and respected. Remember, treating women with dignity and equality is not only the right thing to do, but also essential for building strong and healthy relationships based on mutual respect and understanding. Number 3, avoid manipulation. It's imperative to steer clear of manipulation, a deceptive behavior aimed at influencing others for personal gain. Manipulation can damage trust and harm relationships, so it's essential to prioritize honesty and respect in all interactions. To avoid manipulation when interacting with women, adhere to these simple guidelines. Firstly, prioritize transparency and honesty. Instead of using deceit or coercion to achieve your goals, communicate openly and honestly. Respect women's autonomy and allow them to make their own decisions without undue influence. Secondly, avoid using guilt, fear, or flattery to manipulate women into complying with your desires. Instead, engage in genuine dialogue and negotiation, seeking mutually beneficial solutions that respect everyone's needs and preferences. Thirdly, be mindful of power dynamics in relationships. Avoid leveraging your position or influence to manipulate women for personal gain. Treat everyone with fairness and respect, regardless of their status or authority. Listen actively and empathetically to women's concerns and perspectives. Avoid manipulating situations or information to suit your agenda, and strive to build trust through genuine understanding and collaboration. Lastly, reflect on your motives and intentions. Ensure that your actions are driven by genuine care and concern for others rather than selfish interests. Avoid manipulating women to satisfy your own desires, and instead, focus on building authentic connections based on mutual respect and trust. By following these guidelines and upholding integrity in your interactions with women, you can contribute to creating a culture of trust, respect, and equality. Remember, treating women with honesty and respect is crucial for fostering healthy and fulfilling relationships based on mutual understanding and trust. Number 4, avoid disregarding boundaries. When engaging with women, it's crucial to avoid disregarding boundaries, a behavior that can lead to discomfort, harm, and a breakdown of trust. Respecting boundaries is essential for fostering healthy and respectful interactions. To avoid disregarding boundaries when interacting with women, adhere to these simple guidelines. Firstly, prioritize consent and respect. Recognize that every woman has the right to control her own body and make her own choices. Always seek explicit consent before initiating physical contact or engaging in activities that may impact her comfort or autonomy. Secondly, listen attentively and observe cues. Pay attention to verbal and nonverbal signals that indicate discomfort or a desire to disengage. Respect women's personal space and boundaries, and refrain from pressuring or coercing them into situations they're not comfortable with. Thirdly, communicate openly and honestly. Clearly express your intentions and boundaries, and encourage women to do the same. Be receptive to feedback and willing to adjust your behavior to ensure that everyone feels respected and comfortable. Be mindful of power dynamics in interactions. Avoid using your position or influence to disregard or override women's boundaries. Treat everyone with fairness and respect, recognizing their autonomy and right to self-determination. Lastly, challenge behaviors that disregard boundaries in yourself and others. Speak up against actions or attitudes that undermine women's autonomy or comfort. Foster a culture of accountability and respect, where everyone's boundaries are valued and upheld. By following these guidelines and prioritizing respect and consent in your interactions with women, you can contribute to creating a culture of safety, trust, and mutual respect. Remember, honoring boundaries is essential for fostering healthy and fulfilling relationships built on trust, understanding, and mutual respect. Number 5. Avoid patronizing behavior. It's crucial to avoid patronizing behavior, a condescending attitude that undermines their capabilities and autonomy. Patronizing behavior can erode confidence and perpetuate harmful stereotypes, so it's essential to approach interactions with respect and equality. To avoid patronizing behavior when interacting with women, adhere to these simple guidelines. Firstly, treat women as equals. Recognize and value their intelligence, skills, and experiences. Avoid talking down to them or assuming they need assistance or guidance solely based on their gender. Secondly, listen actively and attentively. Avoid interrupting or dismissing women's contributions, and genuinely consider their perspectives and insights. Show respect for their opinions and expertise, regardless of whether you agree with them. Thirdly, be mindful of your tone and language. Avoid using patronizing or belittling language, and maintain open and respectful body language. Treat women with the same level of respect and consideration as you would anyone else. Respect women's autonomy and agency. Avoid making decisions on their behalf or assuming they need your help without their consent. Allow them to express their thoughts and make their own choices without undue interference. Lastly, challenge patronizing attitudes and behaviors in yourself and others. Speak up against patronizing comments or actions, and strive to create a culture of respect and equality in your interactions and relationships. By following these guidelines and promoting equality and respect in your interactions with women, you can contribute to creating a more inclusive and supportive environment where everyone feels valued and respected. Remember, treating women with dignity and equality is essential for building strong and healthy relationships based on mutual respect and understanding. Number 6. Avoid emotional reactivity. It's important to avoid emotional reactivity, a tendency to react impulsively or emotionally without thoughtful consideration. Emotional reactivity can lead to misunderstandings and strained relationships, so it's essential to approach interactions with calmness and mindfulness. To avoid emotional reactivity when interacting with women, adhere to these simple guidelines. Firstly, practice emotional awareness. Be mindful of your own emotions and reactions, and take the time to understand their underlying causes. Avoid reacting impulsively or defensively, and instead strive to respond thoughtfully and empathetically. Secondly, actively listen to women's perspectives and experiences. Avoid dismissing or invalidating their emotions, and instead validate their feelings and demonstrate empathy. Show genuine interest and curiosity in understanding their point of view. Thirdly, take a pause before responding. Instead of reacting immediately, take a moment to pause and collect your thoughts. Consider the impact of your words and actions, and choose a response that is respectful and constructive. Be mindful of power dynamics in interactions. Avoid using emotional manipulation or coercion to control the conversation or influence outcomes. Treat women with empathy and respect, recognizing their autonomy and agency. Lastly, challenge emotional reactivity in yourself and others. Cultivate a culture of emotional intelligence and self-awareness, where everyone feels empowered to express themselves authentically and respectfully. By following these guidelines and cultivating emotional awareness and mindfulness in your interactions with women, you can contribute to creating a more supportive and empathetic environment where everyone feels valued and heard. Remember, responding with empathy and thoughtfulness is essential for building strong and meaningful connections based on mutual understanding and respect.